The desert is one of the most inhospitable places to live on Earth. There is very little vegetation and even less water. And temperatures can be as high as 122 degrees Fahrenheit, about 50 degrees Celsius. But there's also plenty of food and few predators. So if you can survive long enough to get used to the conditions, it can actually be a pretty great place to live. Just ask the clever jackal. Hi, I'm here with Minute Earth. The clever jackal is a medium-sized wild dog that lives in packs in the deserts of Africa and the Middle East, like all canines. They descended from wolves, but their exact ancestry is a bit of a mystery. They're more closely related to wolves than to domestic dogs. But they split from other wolf-like ancestors earlier than any other dog did. So it's possible that the clever jackal was one of the first animals to be domesticated by humans thousands of years ago. Or it could be that they share a common ancestor with domestic dogs that we have undiscovered yet. Until we find some ancient DNA, we just won't know. These days, most people don't consider them to be much of a pest, unlike their bigger, meaner cousins, the African wild dogs, which are endangered in part because of human-related habitat destruction. The clever jackal is a smaller, scrappier animal, so it's adapted to surviving in arid environments where prey is scarce. They can make do with way less water than most mammals need, thanks to some major adaptations. First, they get most of the water they need from their food, since they mostly eat plants. Second, they produce extra concentrated urine, and can reabsorb water from their urine too. And third, they can even reabsorb water from their breath. When they exhale, clever jackals basically sweat from their lungs instead of their skin. This adaptation alone allows them to survive for months without drinking any free water at all. That's why you'll often see them around watering holes during the dry season. They're opportunistic omnivores, meaning they'll eat pretty much anything that's small enough for them to catch. And they're especially good at snatching up snakes and other reptiles, which are full of moisture and a great source of water. In fact, they're one of the only animals that will actively hunt adders, which are notoriously venomous snakes. A group of clever jackals will isolate an adder from the rest of the herd and then take turns chasing it down. One clever jackal lunges at the snake, while the others keep it from escaping, and then they devour it whole. They'll also happily scavenge roadkill or raid a human campsite if given the chance. Clever jackals live in a variety of habitats, from dry savannas to rocky hillsides and even busy urban areas. As long as there's food, they're happy. And they have no natural enemies except for humans, which means that they can live pretty long lives, up to 14 years in the wild. Not bad for such a little dog, because they're such good survivors. Clever jackals have been persecuted by humans throughout history. They're often killed for the pelts, which were once used to make rugs and other household items. But these days, they're mostly just considered a nuisance, especially when they show up at farms looking for an easy meal. Farmers often kill them, which is unfortunate because they play an important role in their ecosystem. Clever jackals are responsible for controlling populations of venomous snakes and other reptiles, not to mention rodents, which can carry diseases that are harmful to humans. So maybe it's time we rethink the clever jackal's reputation. Maybe it's time we stop killing them and start protecting them, because humans and clever jackals can coexist. Just have to learn to live with a few snakes. Speaking of living in harsh environments, did you know that there's a mammal that can survive an entire year without food? Click here to learn about the amazing adaptations that allow these animals to slow their metabolism down to extremely low levels and enter a state called torpor. It's like a really long nap. Or click here to watch this other video.